Yeah, hello all. Welcome to the new batch. So, good evening. Let's wait for 2 more minutes, guys. Okay. In the meantime, can you guys see the screen and can hear me? Please confirm in the chat. Yeah, let's wait for 2 more minutes. Let's start the session. And today will be a demo session, by the way. So, okay. So it's already time, 8:02. So let's start the batch. So once again, welcome to the Linux Administrator new session. And yeah, so this is a demo batch. Okay, so sorry, demo session. And today and the upcoming three sessions will be demo. From the fourth session only, it will be only for paid candidates. And yeah, so this is my 21st batch, I guess, with Logic Labs. So yeah, a little bit about myself. So we will get back to this all in a moment. A little bit about myself, like Karthik here. So I've been in Logic Labs for almost 3 years and currently working as a platform engineer and handled around 9,700 something servers are there in our company. So yeah, that's the thing. And I am RHCSA certified. And, let's see this general information and this one we will see at the last. Okay. So the general information is, so the first three sessions will be for free or it is a demo session. And from the fourth session, it will be only for the paid candidates. Okay, the Zoom link will be only shared to them. And the first two sessions recording will be available in the YouTube channel. I'll be giving you the YouTube channel's link. The this session itself will be recorded and will be posted there. And yeah, from the day three, only for the paid candidates, that recording also will be available. Okay, so please don't do any batch shifting or there is no refund either. And this is the WhatsApp link. So if you click this, you can see this one. So I click on join chat. If you're joined from your mobile, you can see that if you click that, it will redirect you to the WhatsApp community of Logic Lab. So most probably you guys might be already in anyone. But if you join here, you'll be like informed if there is any if I'm not available in certain days or so, it will be clearly posted here. Okay. And all the sessions, recording, notes, everything will be available in the logiclabstech.com. I will be showing you our portal as well. And the support team, let's say you're having an issue with your payment or your notes, your recording, any issues, even your doubts, right? So you can reach out to the support team and they will connect it with me. Okay, so let's say you're having a doubt with installation of the VM, let's say. So you can't install in your case. For sure, we will help you out. So in that case, please drop an email to this one, support@logiclabs.tech. So let me just type the same. Yeah, and you can even reach out to them in the mobile numbers, but only reach out them during the business hours, like Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. IST. So that's the basic info. And these are all the social media links, Telegram, Facebook, YouTube, Insta, and LinkedIn. And this is the official site for the portal, right? So here you can see the recordings, notes, everything. So yeah, I will give the link, course link as well. So if you want, if you're fine with enrolling, do enroll with this link. Anyhow, at the last also, I will just share it. And once you enroll, you can see, click on the dashboard and you can see it yourself. And yeah, okay. So let's see, or I will show this once again at the last so that it will be easy for you to get it. So fine. So let's start. Yeah, let's start the session. It's already time. Fine. Yeah. So why RHCSA? I will give an idea about that at the in another few minutes. But Linux as a general, this whole batch will be. Okay, so we will be seeing from the basics till intermediate level, what and all as a Linux admin you should understand or you should know. Okay, and it's not an option to you. Even for a developer, it is a necessity knowledge because obviously all the servers, right? So firstly, what is a server? Everything we'll discuss, but in most of the companies, Linux is preferred over Windows or even Mac in some cases. Even Mac is actually underlying, Linux is there. You will see everything. Okay, so firstly, what is Linux? Why it is still relevant in IT? Because it's not a latest technology like, let's say, Docker, Kubernetes, or even Terraform. It's an old one. It's almost like 31 years it's been Linux is. But why it's still relevant and how it kind of dominated this enterprise edition or why companies prefer especially Linux. We'll see one by one. Firstly, what is Linux? Linux is just another operating system like your Windows. So we are used to Windows, right? So like we used to see all the settings and everything. We are like almost familiarized, and it is easy to access also because you have a GUI. So firstly, what is a GUI? Quickly, let me give an idea. Yeah. So what is GUI and CLI? Okay. So CLI means command line interface. And these two are the ways you can interface or ways to interact with the machine. So GUI is graphical user interface. So, and there is one more thing called as TUI, text-based user interface. So, what are all these ways to communicate with the machine? So, we are used to GUI. That's the reason you might not be familiar with CLI or TUI. So, GUI, the best example is your Windows only. So, here, um, yeah, you can see this settings, right? So how I can interact with this machine, let's say I'm clicking this update. So I'm interacting with my cursor and everything is graphical, right? So even a single click and everything is a graphical element, right? So even a simple help section or even closing the icon, if you hover your mouse, it will keep on updating, right? So and that's good. It's not bad, and it is easy also. So if let's say if someone or anyone trying to get into IT or in general they want to uh, like let's say create a document or even a basic thing, GUI is far better and easy to interact. That no one can deny. But why CLI? And in our the disclaimer is in Linux we'll use CLI only. Okay, so why? Because CLI is much more kind of productive way you can consider CLI. And what is CLI is you just go to CMD. You just go to start and type CMD in search and enter. This is your CLI. There is no GUI element, just text you need to type. Let's say, and you can't simply type anything. Let's say create new folder. Will it work? No. You need to specifically type a command. Hence, it is called as command line interface. So without a command, it doesn't detect or not. So if I type dir, then only it shows all my directories in the current path again. I'm not in the desired path, means I need to go via cd. Like that, I need to do every simple navigation is also command. Whereas in Windows or in GUI, what we'll do, we'll just simply click on anything and it will be easy for you to navigate. And what is TUI? So TUI, I will give an example while we install the Linux machine. I will show you that one. So that's an again, it is combination of GUI and TUI. Sorry, CLI. So again, TUI is the least preferred one. So you can even ignore that. You won't use it anywhere. So now, um, CLI, why it is easy for your company purposes, like let's say um, any directory you want to create, it is bit hard in your Windows or in GUI, right? So whereas here, you can create with some regular expression or many thing you can, there is an option even in the commands also. You can use some operators, right? So that's a good thing actually, right? So that's the reason companies prefer this. And here you cannot simply double click. It will just copy it actually. You see, can I double click and go inside this directory? No. Anything I can go via command only. So cd, OneDrive, then only it will be going inside that path, not directly. Okay, fine. That's your ways to communicate to the machine. And why this is important in your service? Because this is a different, so based on this only the whole uh, purpose of your application or the way it is approached, right? So let's say you're installing a software named as Docker. Okay. So there are two types of Docker. One is GUI, one is CLI, right? So which one your companies prefer. So the total way of approach itself will be different, right? So that's the reason Linux is preferred. Why? Because everywhere CLI is there, right? Most of the commands are origin is from Linux only. So CD, again, even Linux is not the actual original one. It is Unix. We will get to that in a moment. But the point is, if you're understood the basics of Linux or the essential commands, you can survive in all of the this kind of applications or DevOps tools. Okay, so easily you can survive there, and that's why CLI is much preferred in the companies, and comparatively the productivity is also good or efficient in a CLI than GUI. Okay, so that's the first thing. And again, what is Linux, right? So Linux is just an operating system, and it has been around for so long. And it is from Minix, and Minix is from Unix. Okay, and the guy who came up with this, sorry, um, oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, he's the one who came up with Linux kernel, not the actual OS. Okay, so OS is a different one, and the kernel. So this is the one, and his name is Linus Torvalds, and he came up with his own version of a kernel, and he named it as Linux. Okay, and this is not a single person's effort. So Linux is a open source software. So now we need to understand what is an open source and closed source. So a best example for closed sources, yeah, again Windows, and open sources, yeah, Linux. Okay, and there are so many like the versions of Linux, but let's generalize it as Linux as of now. So yeah, what is closed source? So in Windows, is it possible for you to edit any of these sections? Yes, but if you somehow edit it and you're creating a batch file and somehow you edited many of these and yeah, sorry, a register file and you're editing almost every thing and you're disabling some important tools, after a Windows update, it will be again enabled. So again, you need to do. So the control of your machine, even though you might have started totally from the internet, still the control is with Windows. So you cannot simply manipulate the coding because few codings are still proprietary with Windows and they have the full control. And that's the reason it is called as closed source. Okay, so you cannot actually edit everything in your Windows, whereas an open source application or any open source software or operating system itself, you can edit almost everything. Like it's again not 100%, 99 percentage you can. So few things you are not supposed to edit, right? So that's what. Again, still if you are a master in it or you are an advanced user, you can somehow manipulate it. But that's what here you cannot edit it. If you can also an update will literally change it. Whereas in your open source or any OS also, it is possible for you to based on your requirement, you can tailor the OS, right? So that's the reason you see how many contributors are there. And this is one of the huge repository. So Linux as a kernel, it is having almost 16K contributors are there. So again, it's not like everyone try to code everything, right? So over the period, they modified it. You see, this file is modified like 9 years ago, and few files will be like last month or like even last week, few files are deleted. You're getting the point, right? So this is a repository which is keep on updating based on the whatever tools they're adding. So with now you might question that, okay, this is a kernel. Is this the actual OS? No, kernel is the heart of your OS, not the actual OS. So OS means you need to consider all the libraries and the required tools, right? So management tools and many softwares, right? So you need to consider everything, but this is just the basic bare minimum you need, right? So that's what kernel means. And tomorrow's session, it will be even easier for you to grasp how a kernel will work. But as of now, this is what you can see. Okay, so this is the kernel. And yeah, so and let me go to this site. So the distro watch. So this is an website where, yeah, so lot of information is there in the site, right? So here you see this ranking list. So these are all different versions of Linux, and there are so many developers throughout the world, right? So they created their own version of Linux. Okay, so here you see Rocky Linux is there, and Debian, and Mint, right? So Fedora will be there, right? So it's a huge list, and yeah, okay. So it's a like you will see a lot of OS here, and you see Red Hat here. So this is what we are going to use, Red Hat operating system. And why Red Hat, right? So that will answer why it is still relevant enough. Why? Because your OS or Windows also had an enterprise edition. They've been in enterprise for so many years, but the support, that's where the enterprise will differ from the commercial use. So enterprise means it's nothing but any companies you take, even they need the OS support, right? But let's say a Windows, their support is not up to the mark. Again, it's not like too bad, but it's not up to the mark where this kind of competition supported. So let's say you search for Red Hat and their website, they have the reputation of supporting the clients, and the clients come first for Red Hat, let's say. Let's put it in that way. And even this is not a new company. It's been around almost like 25 years. And they pioneered the enterprise market. They try to tap in the enterprise and they kind of succeeded because Even now it is owned by IBM actually. Red Hat. Okay, so and they are not a small company; it's a huge MNC, and they've been spanned throughout the world. Their market is, and still their USPs RHEL or Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This is their operating system's name. Okay, so in short, it is called as RHEL, and their proprietary certificate is called as RHCSA, which is Red Hat Certified System Administrator. So you have system engineer and almost like 22 certificates are there. So, but this is the basic and entry level. Even two certificates are there even before this, but this is a good one. Right away you can appear to this exam, and yeah. So why Red Hat? Because as why Red Hat certificate in general? Because you have so many certificates out there. You have LFCS, Linux Foundation, Certified System Engineer, and Form EIQ is there, plus, and so many other, right? So why specifically Red Hat is it has the reputation, right? So like if you have the Red Hat certified, it has the credibility. If let's say you mentioned it in your LinkedIn or anywhere you can mention, right? So if it is in your resume, it is it adds a value to your resume, right? So as an entry level admin, let's say sysadmin, and if you're in a like already an experienced, let's say VMware admin, still you can do a rel and you can pursue the DevOps career. Okay, so if just with VMware knowledge, you can, but it is a hard route. Okay, so you will see the different routes we can take to, or the roadmap you can take to going to the DevOps, SRE. We will see that at the last of the session. But yeah, you're getting the point, right? So Linux is the foundation for all of the DevOps, SRE, platform engineer. So many designations. If you have the Linux knowledge, almost like 20% you are easily you can grasp those tools, because obviously almost everything is preferred with CLI, and Linux is the basic CLI commands will be there. Okay, so that's the thing. And like why rel? Because rel is firstly easily you can port, so portability is there, and reliable. So that's too important for companies, because let's say they are paying a lot for the support, they are ready to pay, but the reliability factor is very, very important, and availability. So these two literally differentiates a lot, and that's also one of the reason RHEL or Red Hat servers are around 67 percentage in the market cap. Okay, which means like out of all the companies, Red Hat literally dominates. It is kind of a monopoly now, right? So for this kind of enterprise, so it is 67 percentage of all the Linux operating systems out there. It's been like companies prefer Red Hat around 67 percentage. Okay, so yeah, that's the reason. It is too reliable, and if it is having some issues also, they have a very good support team to solve the issue. Okay, so yeah, and this is the exam code EX200. I will give a brief about what is that exam is about, everything at the last. But as of now, I will just give the basic thing. What is the syllabus part? So our whole uh, like our whole batch or the whole course itself is tailored based on the exam. Okay, it's not like only exam. Again, it is tailored based on exam. So if you have a sysadmin, like if you're done with a course, you can literally say you have a knowledge of almost 2 years experience of a sysadmin, Linux sysadmin especially, right? So yeah. And what are all these? So this is the roadmap we are going to follow. So first we will see the user management, and we will see one by one. So let me give a basic idea what is user management is about. So we literally don't mind user management in our own mission, right? So let's say your PC, laptop, your like commercial use, we literally don't mind because maximum we will be using or our family or friends will be using our mission. Whereas in enterprise or in companies, that's not the case, right? So no one knows how many people might use the servers, or even there might not be a people, right? So there might be some automated account or a service account, which must have a reliable like authentication, right? So like a password-based authentication, passwordless authentication. So everything should be factored in, and that's what the basic user management is about. And that's what we will discuss quite a lot about user management. Like, again, not too advanced also, like how to configure Active Directory and how to complicate the Active Directory and how to increase the server hardening. So many things are there. Okay, so if you want to increase the security features of the user authentication, we can. But again, as an entry level, you need not or you won't be doing it in a production service. Okay, so over the period of time, you will eventually, but not right away once you step in your company. Let's say you are a fresher, or let's say you're on 2 years experience, they won't expect you to um, create a whole security layer itself just for the servers, because it is a responsibility of a SRE, site reliability engineer, not you, right? So that's what. Fine. So that's the user management, like how a password should be authenticated. There is a concept called as privileged access, which is a very interesting and very different way of approach. We've never been used to that in our Windows, and we will see that extensively, privileged access. And what is disk management, right? So again, disk management, we really take it for granted in our own missions, because it's at the end of the day, we are the one we are going to use the mission, right? So let's say we are saving every important document or movies or series or anything you want in one single partition, we will save. And Windows is like that only. You will put everything in a single directory or a partition. Whereas in Linux, you can't do that. So there is a definition, like you should be using this directory or this partition for only that. There is a definition, and it is called as folder structure. We will discuss that extensively again later sessions. But very, very important one, disk management. As a sysadmin, you are the only person who has the privilege to do that. Okay, so that's this one. And what is process management? And again, since you are the only one who have the admin access, right? So let's say you are placed in a company, you are the only, or your whole team will have the admin access. With that, what you can do, literally you can do anything you want in the server. Again, you should not like just like that, you cannot simply kill a process or so, but you should follow the procedure. But you have the privilege to do that, right? So that's the important one. And what are all the processes and how to manage? So process management is nothing but your whatever we see in the task manager, right? So here, how much your system resources is being utilized by the process. Is it efficiently used, or is it some issues there, like that? You can see, right? So that's your task manager. And exactly like that, you can manage all the processes from the foreground, background, and the services, right? So all these things can be managed in the process management. Very, very important one. And let's say if something went wrong in the process management, how to troubleshoot it. That's the next one. So if something went wrong in your mission, and it will, right? So you're not encountering only one server. We are talking in a volume of thousands of machine. And let's say you are in a huge MNC like TCS or CTS or some huge companies. They have around 20,000 or even 30,000 servers will be there. Out of those, at least 10 to 20 servers will have some random issues every, let's say, half an hour once. So you should be in a position to approach each and every issue. That's the whole purpose of this serving, right? So it's not only managing your disks and process. So you should be the uh, front-facing person to approach that issue, and it should not happen in the future. That's important, right? You should make sure that application owner that okay, so this issue is there. You should give a remedy for that, and that issue should not appear in the future. So you should even give a solution for that. That's important, right? So that's called as postmortem report or root cause analysis, RC, right? So we, as a sysadmin, you must know the choice actually. So you must give a RCA, like why it went wrong. Because like the server will be available for the 24/7, the whole day it will be there. So at what exact time, what which hardware failed or which software had an issue, right? So you should be the one pinpointing it exactly, right? So that's the server troubleshooting. And the last one is a basic networking. So this basic, why I mentioned specifically because networking as a concept itself is a separate one, right? So you can even have a separate course for networking. So it's that huge of a concept. So what and all is needed as a sysadmin is what we are going to see in this basic network. Okay. So yeah, that's the basic roadmap. And just wait for 5 or 10 more minutes, guys. Okay. So we will see the questions. I think Adil raised his hand. Yeah. Just give me 10 minutes. I'll go through everything and we will have a doubt clearing session. Yeah. Fine. So again, the same thing only. Just a brief about what and all the whole syllabus is about. So firstly, what is the introduction of our like our actual OS, right? So tomorrow we will see everything, the basics and how RIL is evolved, everything, and your essential commands. So now you should not be overwhelmed that okay, everything is command, is it? Actually, yes, even a simple operation till your advanced operation or any changes you are going to make into the server, it must be made through a command. But you should not be afraid to type the command or afraid to think that, okay, I must remember like 200 commands for the day. It doesn't work like that, right? So, because you will be bombarded with issues, no one knows what will go wrong, right? You can't predict the issue. But you need not remember everything also. Obviously, there is some manual pages there, help is there. Even in your exam, it is allowed. Okay, so your manual command, help command, everything is allowed. Okay, because you have around 2,200 commands are there. Obviously, no one ever executes all the commands, and no one can even remember all the commands because it's not just the command. You should remember the options along with it. Just with the command, you can't do everything. Right? So the options and advanced options is also there for some commands. Right? So you should remember everything. But again, it's not like you should remember for all the 2,000 commands, right? So for few basic or essential commands, you must remember, no other choice. Right? So without that, you can't even navigate to the machine, right? So that's the one. We will discuss extensively the essential. Every day we will see few commands for at least 4 to 5 days. We will see that. Okay, and this is where like let's say you're starting your career with Linux. You are a student or you're from a different domain. You want to pursue Linux, right? So I will start from the basics, from the installation itself, right? So how to install the VM, right? So because there is no separate lab for our course, so your own machine only will be your lab because, and it is for free again, because you have the full control and there is no timelines, right? So you can, and I will show you how to install in your local machine using VMware, and you can even use VirtualBox or Vagrant, right? So many softwares out there, hypervisor. But I personally prefer VMware Workstation because it is easy for you to change or create a snapshot. So many things you can do with VMware. And companies also prefer VMware for virtualization, which we will see what is virtualization in tomorrow session, because as of now, you might not know that, right? So what is a virtualization in general? And we will discuss that. And I will show you how to install RHEL. I mentioned 8, right? You can install 8 or 9. It doesn't matter. Okay, so but at least 8 should be there. Never ever install RHEL 7. I will give the all resources and even ISO I will give. But the point is never install RHEL 7 because the RHEL 7 is almost obsolete. So companies don't prefer that. So from RHEL 8 it is. RHEL 8 or 9 or even 9.5 is the latest one. You can even install that. There is no harm in it. Okay. And I will show you how to install in AWS as well as GCP. So both almost it is same. Okay. So if you are having hard time installing workstation in your machine, means VMware workstation, let's say you're using your office laptop or like a machine which you don't have the admin privilege. So obviously you can't install anything on that. But this is a browser based one. AWS is a what? Cloud service providers, right? So like AWS, GCP, Azure, or Alibaba Cloud, OCI, Oracle Cloud. So many are there. But why specifically AWS and GCP? Because Azure is, you can also use if you are a student, but Azure is not free right away. They are not giving a free tier. It is free tier is there, but only for the students, not as a working professional. You can't use Azure. Okay. So that's the reason I personally recommend you to use either AWS or GCP or in your own machine if you are fine with installing it. Okay. So the next thing is performance monitoring and what they are going to monitor because the machine will be running 24 bar 7 days because this in my case, this machine I started only few hours back. But in your work environment, it doesn't work like that, right? So it will be keep on running and the memory will be filled. Or all of a sudden, let's say it's not like one server will be having just one application or one database. It will have multiple applications and multiple backup database and so many things will be running in the background, right? So all of a sudden there will be a spike in memory and none of the even you can't even log into the machine, right? So like that, constantly there will be changes in the server and it is a real time one you should monitor, right? So this is real time, but this is for just one mission. Is it possible for you to monitor like this for every mission? Yes and no at the center. You cannot monitor each and every section like this and sit for whole 8 hours. That's impossible, right? So that's where you need to configure an alert. So if some there is a threshold value, let's say even here, let's say the memory is reached 90%, it should drop an email to my uh, domain or my DG, right? So my automatically it should trigger an alert and I should be somehow notified, right? So like that, most of the companies will automate this and you have a lot of monitoring tools. Okay, so it's not like you're stranded with only tool like task manager or talk command. So you have a lot of monitoring tools like Grafana, is there, ELK stack, and Splunk is for log monitoring, right? So your ITRS is also a good monitoring tool, and Dynatrace is a APM. So APM is application performance monitoring. Right? So APM tool and so many others. Okay, so this is a huge list, and yeah. So I will try to give a session on at least one of the tool, at least the basic, right? How to like schedule an alert or create an alert for a one resource at least. So these are all the system resources, right? So here are five system resources: CPU, memory, GPU, network, and lastly, text. So yeah, this five, based on this metrics, you are going to receive an alert if the metrics reach the threshold value. Okay, we will see extensively these anyhow in later sessions, but as of now, that's how it will be. Okay, that's the performance monitoring. And this user management, as I told, like you need to manipulate the users, like create, delete, modify, you can do, and the bare minimum will start right away. If I go to configuring and monitoring system also, no one will understand, right? So we'll start from the basic. Gradually, we will increase the again, not difficulty. We will gradually see some advanced topics. So yeah, how to change the password. And again, I might have mentioned for local users. So there are actually two types of users. One is local and another one is called as AD user or Active Directory user. So what is Active Directory now? So local user means firstly, it will be within your mission. So as I mentioned, it is like 5,000 servers are there, let's say. Out of that, it won't be synchronized. Let's say you have 100 users in your mission. The next mission, there is no need for it to be having the same 100. It can even have 110. But in your work environment, that synchronization it should be there, right? It's not like again and again I need to create, or let's say a new guy joined the company. So is it possible for me to create that users info on 5,000 servers? Maybe you can, but how about let's say 50,000 servers? It's impossible, right? So it will take a lot of time just to onboard a person. So that's where Active Directory is a very, very useful tool. Yes, it is a centralized authentication system. So like every server will be connected to the Active Directory, and that is posted in your even Linux is also there, LDAP, and your Windows is also there, right? So Windows Active Directory. Actually, Windows pioneered this Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, all these. Uh, that's also one of the reasons Windows servers are still being used because they kind of dominated the market and still they are, right? So that's why. And yeah, so your Active Directory is a centralized user authentication. Okay, so easily that new guy will be added to that Active Directory and he can be recognized in all those 5,000 or 50,000 n number of servers. It doesn't matter. So that's how AD works. Okay. So yeah. And what is how to create a group management, everything. And as I mentioned, create, manipulate everything we will do. And what is super user access? It's nothing but a privilege access in the servers. We will discuss uh, like extensively what is privilege and why privilege is needed, because even a simple operation you cannot do without a root access, and we it should not be the case, right? So they let's say an application should not be relying on a root or admin users for everything, right? So there should be a, let's say, silver lining between these things. So that's where you need to configure these things extensively, because they should not come for even a basic operation task. So they should do it themselves, right? So that's where this one will configure, and the basic OS concepts, right? So how to, again, essential tools, how it works, and how to search for a specific text in a document or anywhere. Throughout the whole path itself, you can search for a simple expression. Okay. And how to access the server. remote access using SSH. SSH full form is secure shell. Okay. And what is archive? How to um, zip, unzip, archive, extract, everything we will discuss. And the file manipulation, right? So create, delete, copy, move, remove, right? So all these we will do. What is hard link and soft link, right? So yeah, this is a new concept which almost the same you have in your Windows, but not the exact one. And the permissions, again, whenever it comes to permissions or access level, it's a different approach actually. In Windows also you have this. I'm not denying that, but it is a very different approach here. Okay, and these things we will uh, literally compare it with Windows. So let's say if it is an archive, I will actually create an archive in our Windows using like let's say WinZip or something, and I will show you the difference between the like how efficiently it compressed in our Linux and how efficiently it compressed in Windows. Like not only this, right? So many concepts, I will compare it with Windows because obviously, like almost everyone in the batch might be using Windows even now, right? So that's the thing. And the last one in this point is server patching. So what is a patch? It's like in our an easy example would be let's say your Android phone or your iPhone, you're getting a system update. So basically they are patching an existing issue. Let's say an easy example would be your Bluetooth is not working. Okay. Whenever you turn on your Bluetooth in your mobile, it automatically turns off within 5 seconds. That's a bug, right? So it's a bug not in a hardware level, in a software level, that's a bug. And it can be easily fixed by the developer by releasing a new patch, right? So if you install that patch, that issue will be solved, right? So that's what a patch, but in a server environment, you have a patch for every software and even kernel has a patch, right? And it will not be like every day you will patch, right? So that will be a schedule. Exactly like your Android, different versions are there. Whether everyone gets the latest version, even now you won't be, right? So it is a, you should see the compatibility and is that really an issue in that machine or in that device? You should see that. So many things you should factor in, and then only you should patch, right? So there is a cycle for this, like a quarterly, half-yearly, yearly patches there, right? So, and it's an important concept. As a sysadmin, you will do in BAU tasks. For sure, you will do this in any company or place. So we will discuss that. And the next one is this one in another, at least tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll do what is system booting procedure, right? So that's like a very old and important topic, right? So what happens once you press the power button and until you see the actual desktop screen, right? So what happens in between? So why that information is important because let's say your system, as I mentioned, you are not going to work with just one or two machines. It will be like thousands of servers, and few servers might be stuck in one of the step. It's not like it will be booted right away. Some might have an issue, right? Obviously. So you should be in a position to fix or at least understand where it is stuck. So that's the only reason you should know the booting procedure. Without that, you cannot approach that issue, right? So that's where we need to analyze and like if there is an interrupt, how to gain a like single user mode is there, right? So so many are there. Very very important concepts these are. We will discuss and how to identify if there is any a spike, right? So there is a spike here, right? So as of now nothing is there. But if I open, let's say I'm opening my VM, you can easily see a spike in our memory. Let me run my VM. There will be a spike, you see. right? It will keep on growing until it reaches the threshold, right? So why? Because that's what we opened, and I'm actually trying to run an OS on top of an existing OS using virtualization. So the point I'm trying to make is you need to find, okay, which process is consuming a lot. In my case, I'm the one who triggered the VMware, but in your work environment, you need to find out, okay, there will be a lot of applications running. You should figure out why there is all of a sudden a spike in the usage. So like that, not only memory, your CPU also you need to figure out, right? So like that. Okay. So yeah. And what is tuned profiles and how to locate a log. So without a log, you cannot do anything. Again, as a sysadmin, logs plays a very, very important role, and how to analyze the logs is a skill actually. So I will show you how to analyze easily because many people will be lost with the logs because it's, even in now in our mission, if you type event viewer, when in your Windows you have logs, everything will be logged. You see number of events, 28,000 logs are there, right? Every second there will be a log. It can be for anything. You see some service job is there, some security update is there, like that, some .NET runtime, like that, some logs will be there, right? So you see task category, it is none, and even sorting takes time. But you're getting the point, right? So it's like too important, and your system, without your intervention itself, it will log everything. Okay, so exactly like that in our in Linux also, there is a log for literally everything. Okay, so we will see how to analyze those logs and all. And there's a system journal logs is there, and how to manipulate the services like start, stop, check, restart, reload, everything we'll do that here. And how to transfer a file between different servers, like using rsync, SCP, WinSCP, and all. Everything we'll discuss here. Okay. And this is the disk management concept. It is called as LVM and logical volume management, the full form is. Okay. And it's the USB of your Linux base. So why USB? Because, okay, let me give a scenario. In Windows, can I combine this disk 0 and disk 1? Is it possible? Can anyone put it in the chat? Let's see. Is it possible for me to, let's say it is around 1.8 TB, disk 0. This is 200 gigs. Can I combine these two and call it 2 TB? Yes? No? Anyone? Let's see. Yes? Okay. Okay. So actually, you can combine, yes, but will it natively you can do? No. Okay, so it is not as reliable than your Linux. So just like that, you cannot, okay, you just right click, combine this one. You cannot. Okay, so there is no middle level. Let's say there is no this partition you cannot share with other. Let's say this E partition, I want it to be shared with both the remaining disks. Can I do that? No. Again, natively you cannot do. There are some third-party tools out there, which is not as reliable as a native tool. Native in the sense it should be bundled with the OS itself, but it is not. Even now it is not. Okay, so one or two Windows Server versions actually allows these, but it's not that reliable, and that is where Linux is like a gold mine in this kind of disk management area because it is very easy for you to create a LVM or a logical volume inside, let's say let's say take this partition itself. I can create a LV here and I can use any disk out here and I can combine it. And the best part is, do I need to format the data? No. That's great, right? So let's say here in Windows, is it allow you to, or does it allow you to do all this without formatting the data? No, it will never allow. At the end, just for the health check, it needs a format of the data. Means all the data will be cleared this. It will be just like a brand new thing. But we need to copy that data to something and do all these, right? Whereas in Linux, without like losing a single data, right? Still, it is possible, and without any complications. Very, very easily you can do this LVM concept, and it is still one of the main reasons companies prefer, because obviously the company will keep on growing, and the servers is also should be exponentially, it will grow. In my, let me give my company as an example. So when I joined, it was around 6,000 servers, and within 2 to 3 years, it is around almost 10K. It is 9,800 servers are there. So you need to expand it, right? So for that, you need to save the data. It's not like obviously companies has the fastest network and easily they can transfer, but that is one more task. So you should avoid it at any cost, right? So natively, if it is supporting without losing the data, obviously everyone will prefer that. So that's LBM is plays a very huge role, especially in enterprises. And we will see extensively this for at least 1 or 2 sessions. We will have LBM concepts. And this management, you are the only person who can do. Like as an admin, you have the privilege to do that. Okay, so how to create, delete a logical volume, how to format it, right? So create, mount. These are all different file system format. Okay, and if there is an issue, how to diagnose it. Okay. And the different concepts and advanced concepts, these are strategies and video based on the LVM concept. Okay, so the last two, so just few, and we will see the doubts if you have any. So what are all the different security aspects of an OS? So in our Android mobile itself, the let's say first thing you'll see is for the camera, next will be the battery, or the next one will be the display. The fourth one will be what is the security feature, right? So let's say your fingerprint sensors is there, or your face checking. It is a staple now. Let's say 5 years back, that itself is a feature, right? Because we are new to that. But nowadays, it is a staple for almost even a basic model. Android phone itself is having those features. But security plays a vital part in it. Is that face detection on like 24/7, it will be on? Or is it only while I need it? So that is a security feature. Like that, each and everything, is there a constraint for it to run? Or is it actually monitoring us forever? Right? So like that, so many things you need to consider in a mobile. Exactly like that in your OS, you have how secure it is. So you can easily divide, or people will be divided based on the security, right? So yeah, your key-based authentication is there, and firewall. Again, there are two types of firewall, like hardware level, software level is there, right? So it's a huge concept. Okay, so SC Linux is there, and how to restrict the user with certain commands. Only he can run 5 commands. Out of 2,000 commands, he can only run 5. So like that also you can do. And you can go to only certain path. Even that you can do. So what if I am allowed to go only to this partition. These all partitions will never, I cannot even see those partitions, right? So even that you can do. Okay, so that's your security aspect. And the basic networking, as I told, these are all important for as a sysadmin. How to configure a static IP, how to set a host name, what is your netstat command, and how to start service, stop, troubleshoot if there is an issue with the network services. Everything we'll discuss in basic networking. And lastly, still we are not done yet, the containers, right? So uh, I might have told Docker at the start, right? So Docker is actually a container management tool, and you have Docker, Kubernetes is there, and Podman is actually owned by Red Hat. It is an open source project, but still it is supported by Red Hat, and that's what we are going to use it. And Podman is like 95 percentage it is Docker. Just you need to replace Docker command with Podman. The all the options and the supporting commands, everything will be the same. Okay, so it is an important one. Even the exam point of view, this is an important one. Okay, and how to create a startup service with the containers and how to approach the container. Like you can push the container, register, everything we'll discuss. Okay. So this is an important, even for your exam, you'll see this one. And what is VMware vSphere? So this we never talk about, right? So VMware workstation is what you see here, but this won't be the one you will be using in your work environment. Okay. It is called as VMware vSphere, which is a different layout and it has much more features. And obviously, the baseline will be the same, but it is even much more capable than workstation. This is for an end user like us, but this is a good one. I will try to show this because in your case, this supports only few hardware. You cannot simply install it in every laptop. So only few laptops it supports, and we will see at the last again. So that's the reason I mentioned this at the last. Okay. So that will sum up the whole syllabus. And let me just give this one and we can see the doubts. Okay. So the course is not a free course, by the way. So this is a paid one. And the course fees is around 4.7K. And in dollars, it is 57 USD. And the duration is again not exactly 4 weeks, guys. So based on your doubts, the course duration will extend, but basic timeline is 4 weeks, right? So 20 to 25 sessions it will be there every weekdays. 1 hour session will be, and some days I might even extend to at least 5 to 10 minutes if I want to cover the whole topic. Okay, and based on your doubts, and doubts are always welcome, but that's what. If you want me to explain the concept once again, I will. At the end of the day, I need to make sure you guys understood the concepts because and you should never ever see this back again, right? So you should like it should be like your muscle memory. So because it's like a foundation, right? So either like we will see the basic max once again. No, right? It's like forever we will remember it. So it's like that. We should just progress from here. You should not again read Linux, let's say after 3 months or so. Okay, so that's what I usually do for every batch. So I will make sure you guys understood. If not, also please do ask any doubts. And even after the hours, if you ask, you just drop an email and we will somehow support you. Okay, so that's the okay. So any doubts, anyone? Okay, yeah. Adit. So you're unmuted.
Hi, hi Karthik.
Yeah, hi Adit. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Uh, Basic reason for me to join because already I've been working for Red Hat for like past 12 years.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Great.
joining class to brush up myself because I want to learn new monitoring tools, which you mentioned. Dynatrace is one of the my key thing,
Uh-huh.
and Splunk. If you is it a separate session for that, or are you gonna give a training on that in this class?
In this itself I will be doing, and
Oh,
it will be like a brush up for you for the remaining basic or essential tools. Okay, so you can
yes.
join and Dynatrace or like Splunk or even like New Relic is there.
Zabbix. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
got it.
yeah, New Relic and even
And
Zabbix. Either
yeah,
one, two monitoring tools, I will give an idea how it works. So yeah, you can join. Yeah.
and the main important thing for me to join other thing is like I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to give my certification exam. So that's
Uh-huh.
the
Like
reason I wanna.
RHCSA or RHCE it is in your case?
I'm looking for like this one, the EX200, which you just mentioned the
Yeah,
code.
okay. RHCSA. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see. So I wanted to know like how will this class will help me out to clear that exam, because I know working is different, giving an exam is would be a different totally.
Exactly. Yeah. So RHCSA, okay, you brought a good point. So let me give an my
It's
link.
an expensive
So
exam, so I want to clear it in one go.
exactly. Yeah. So okay. So let me give an idea. So firstly, EX200, the exam fees is around in rupees. Let me give it is around 21K, including GST. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the price. And in dollars, I'm not sure. It is around $300,
500, I
I
think.
guess. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Now nowadays it is
700.
increased. So in dollars, it is 400 to 500,
500.
including VAT and all. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So let me give this link also. This is our resource page. So please do bookmark this link, guys. bit.ly/lilacs LL it is LL1. I just sent in the chat. Just
Okay.
bookmark this. And this question paper I already included. Again, this is not a dump or everything, but if you see all the topics which I covered here is what you will be discussing, right? So you see, this are all disk management. This one,
Yeah.
resize, swap is there, LVM, Stratus, video, containers are there, right? So again, monitoring tool is not part of the exam, but that is we will be seeing as a sysadmin concepts. So monitoring, troubleshooting is also not there because these are all basic concepts like like as a sysadmin. But in the exam point, only these are all there, right? So and I will go through all the questions. It's not like I'll just see only the important one. I'll explain every question. Around 22 to 23 questions will be asked in your exam. Again, it differs. And one more important thing, why this exam or this particular certificate is preferred by companies and it has its own credibility is the main reason there is no MCQ. Okay, so it is a practical based exam. So only if you know how to answer this EM repo, only if you know how to configure it, you can answer it, right? So that itself is increasing the complexity of the exam, and it's not complex as well, right? So if you know the concept, you can answer it. But if you don't, and if let's say you miss to understood a concept or you cannot answer it, that's the reason um, I created this post based on our content itself. Easily you can match with each questions. Everything will be covered. Okay, so you need not worry. Once you're done with the our batch, immediately you can appear for the exam. Again, not like the next day. Within at least 2 weeks, you prepare and you just practice because the time is very important. Here is the time is 3 hours only is there. Okay,
Because
so
many job opportunities they are asking for this certification, and
yeah,
I
so it is a
already got
necessity
the
now.
job
Yeah.
opportunity then after having an experience.
Uh, yeah. In your case, you are experienced, right? So for sure, at least for your credibility, they will ask. So for 12 years, they will for sure expect. Like this is a basic level certificate, right? So for sure, if you have this, and it's not like okay, only you should do RHCS.
Okay.
Obviously, no, you can do any other also, but this companies prefers this. If you
Yeah,
see
this.
in LinkedIn, many people will be posting their RHCSA over LRCS or any other certificates. So for sure, this has the job market. If you see, this has the edge over any other certificate. Yeah,
Certificate. So,
exactly. So yeah, you can
so
for
whatever
sure.
this.
I will assure you, you can clear the exam once you're done with the batch.
Okay.
Adil.
So how many
It's a
questions like there are like how many questions would be there in exam like which we need to do
yeah, as
practical?
I told, right? So everything is practical. There is no MCQ. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
everything
know
is
about it.
practical. It is like 22 or 23 questions, depends. Okay, so in my case, I got around 22 questions in my exam. In your case, you might even get 24. So, but the concept stays the same. So they will ask based on like this one. Yeah. So user management, 4 questions. Disk management, 3 questions. Like that. Based on the topics, they will differentiate. And even one important factor, few people might fail because, again, I'm not trying to uh, like uh, complex this question paper, but if you are strong in user management, but you are very weak in networking, let's say, um, you cannot clear the exam. So you should at least get 70% in every topic.
Okay.
Okay, so which means the
I heard like
exams.
first question is regarding the breaking the password by going to the booting system. That's
Exactly.
one.
So that is the very first question you will attempt. That's
Yeah,
nothing but this question, right? So um, yeah, this one reset root users password.
yeah, research. Yeah,
So
that's the first question. Okay.
exactly. So without breaking the password, you cannot attempt these questions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so even
Think
one of
can be
my colleague who is also an experienced person who actually somehow fumbled that question and he missed literally he failed the exam. Okay, so I'm not
yeah,
trying to threaten or
yeah, I know.
complex the exam, but the point is simple. Obviously, you know, right? So a single semicolon makes a sense, and if you miss that, it literally changes the whole concept, right? So a
Concept.
simple, yeah. So that's what. That's the reason few people see it very hard, this question paper or this exam in general, but it's easy. I will say it is easy. I will easily dissect each and every concept, so don't worry about this one. Okay. So yeah, exam point never worry, but the monitoring those things we will see eventually. So how we can approach those, everything we will discuss. Okay, and please do bookmark this drive link, guys. So every installation file, and tomorrow session I'll be showing what and all we are going to install, and in tomorrow session we'll be seeing this one. What is the difference between virtualization and containers? Okay, so because containers is asked in your exam as well as a sysadmin, it is a necessity now. So because companies do migrate, they already migrated, right? So most of the companies already migrated to containers, and they are in a stage of migration also. Few companies, right? So what is a container? What is virtualization? How it works, how it literally changed the IT world, everything we'll discuss. The origin of those and everything. Okay, so again, it is a theory only, and don't think that okay, our whole batch will be theory. Obviously, as I told, it's fully practical it will be, and for sure, that's the reason I don't in our logic labs never encourage the labs. Okay, because you should install in your own mission because anytime you can start and there is no expiry date, right? So obviously it's your mission. So anytime you can boot up your mission like this, and you should start working, and it is your data. Your data will be with your cell phone, right? So on
But the
AWS and GCP also, I will show you how to create an account, how to create an VM in it, right? So how to log in everything. Yeah.
because I have like less memory and storage, so I was asking for that only if you have any
Oh, okay.
playground.
The basic system requirement I will show you tomorrow. Anyhow, you'll install on the third day. I will
Okay.
give you the basic system requirement everything. Okay, so yeah. So it's already time. Is there any doubts, anyone? And let me just give me 2 minutes. Okay, so what is the career trajectory if you're join the batch? What is the career trajectory? Let me explain. So let's say you completed the batch. Okay, so one sec. Yeah, you completed the batch, and it's like let's say May month. Okay, so there's some random month I'm taking. So May month, you're planning to switch to a different company, let's say. So you can apply for system administrator. Okay, and this is a very, very important baseline. It should be a Linux admin. And you can even apply for Windows also. Now you might question that, okay, I never talked about Windows and how Windows is there, and even VMware also. So all at the base level is the concept wise, it will be the same. Okay, so uh, it's not like, okay, only Linux you need to understand. So you should understand VMware and Windows. Again, I will somehow, I won't give you the resources, right? So I will just give the blogs and VMware anyhow we will do, right? So how to, uh, anyhow I'll give the VMware vSphere. So VMware you need not worry, but Windows Server, right? So this one I will include some blogs or include some even YouTube channels, right? So you can go through that, just hone your skills on that. Very, very important, guys, because just with Linux, current 2025 job market, you cannot be placed. That's the harsh truth. No one can be placed just with Linux. Okay, so you should have at least the basics of VMware and Windows. Okay, because these three are the holy trinity of your infra. All right, so without these three, you cannot do it. Even Citrix you can, but few companies don't have Citrix in them, right? So these three is enough. Yeah. Let's say you're sysadmin, you are placed and you are there for 2 years. After sysadmin, you can or you are eligible for system engineer or DevOps engineer. Okay, so nowadays there is a thin line between engineer and system engineer and DevOps because both does almost the same, but in DevOps there will be an edge with the scripting, right? So system engineer there is a two types, right? So you can just do the basic operations and you can even automate, whereas in DevOps mostly you will automate stuff. Okay, so that's here after 2 to 3 years once you're placed in a sysadmin, right? So you can simply switch to this roles, DevOps. Again, for DevOps, it's not like only Linux, so you should know at least the basics of Linux, Git for version control, and Docker for containers, which you will understand now only, Docker, and Jenkins for your CI/CD pipelines. Okay, at least these four tools. Again, this is a huge list. I don't want you to jar with everything, right? So it's like at least these four tools. You can attend the interviews and you can um, appear and you can crack it easily. And in your companies, actually, they will have an alternative to Git. So in my company, let's say as an example, there is an in-house tool which is almost same as Git. It's a version control tool and they have their own. It's not like okay, I cannot mention that, right? But you can mention Git in your resume, right? So like that, there will be a counterpart of each and every tool, but it does the same job only. Means you can mention that because just the naming and the way it approaches the um, issue is different, right? So, but at the end of the day, it is the same tool or it does the same thing, right? So once you're done with DevOps or you've been in the companies for, let's say you're having 5 years of experience, you are easily applicable for even SRE roles. So SRE actually 8+ years is what companies prefer, but from 5 years to 6 years, you can start applying and you can even be placed if you're having a very good knowledge in this. And SRE is a site reliability engineer, which means you need to make sure the mission is available and even reliable, right? So a lot of automation you should do. So automation, like you must every day you will do automation on it, right? So automation, the mundane tasks, right? So let's say the task which sysadmin guys do, you are the one who need to automate it, right? So let's say they are doing a patching, you will be the one who automate those patching process. You need to understand the use cases, and you will interact with sysadmins and developers a lot for automation, right? So that's your SRE role, and even platform engineer comes in this one. Platform engineer, you have a dedicated platform in, let's say, in a bank, you have a platform, right? So you are the one who support the platform. Again, you should not feel inferior, okay, it is a support project or something. It is a very critical and you should be the SME for that, right? So, and this one also, 5 to even 8 years is eligible for this one, platform, right? So that's what, this is the basic roadmap. And let's say if someone is fresher in this uh, participants. So this is the basic roadmap what you should follow. And Linux stays as a foundation, right? So without Linux, is any of these roles possible? No. And one more thing, guys. So let's say you are trying to pursue developer role or full stack developer, which are obviously a huge SDLC, right? So SDLC, SDTC is also there, right? So the point is, uh, those roles are appealing, but let's say you're starting your career in that, it is bit hard because it's a wide range, means like many people will be there, right? So it's not like, okay, this then sysadmin only few people are there. Obviously, this is also in India, the job market is always there will be a demand and always there will be applicants. But the point is this the roadmap is easy to crack, right? So compared to your developer, because let's say you have one framework, let's say AngularJS. Okay, so AngularJS, companies are not preferring AngularJS. Immediately they'll move on to React or some other JavaScript, which it's not like, okay, I need to start from fresh, nothing like that. But again, you need to spend at least 3 to 6 months understanding how that works. Then only you are eligible to apply for a company, right? So, whereas here, all these tools, if you know the Linux as a fundamental, these tools easily you can understand because almost even Docker you have CLI, Jenkins will use CLI, and GUI both, and your even cloud, right? So AWS CLI is there. We specifically use AWS CLI, and even Azure CLI we will use, right? So like that, almost every tool, Git is always CLI only is what we will use, right? So almost every tool is CLI based, and easily you can track if you understood clearly what Linux is all about. Right? So that's what I highly recommend any batch, that you just try to pursue this one. Don't think twice and think that, okay, this is support role is a very bad thing. Obviously, if you are allotted to a bad project, you will feel for it. But the point is, it's not the end of the day, right? So it's like it's not like end of your career also. Obviously, if you understood and work hard, you can back all these roles easily. This is a good trajectory comparatively. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, fine. So let me share this link. And if you're fine with my way of training, so again, tomorrow you can see, and even in my YouTube channel, Logic Labs YouTube channel, so this is the channel name. Yeah, so here you can see the previous batch recordings also, right? So nowadays, actually, we are not taking any weekend batch, but you can even see 2 hours recording, uh, my recordings previously, right? So yeah, this one, right? So day one, two. So you just search for Linux admin, Logic Labs, like my sessions will be available. Okay, so you just go through this previous day two recordings and then you just go through. And anyhow, it will be the same as what, right? So you just see how my way of training will be, and easily you can understand it. Okay, so if you are fine with that, you can enroll the class. Okay, so yeah, once again, sorry for extending the session for almost 1.5 hours. And is there any doubts, anyone? Adil already asked the doubt. And yeah, anyone? And we will have an interactive session, guys. So please feel free to uh, like ask any number of doubts. So yeah, yeah, Adil.
Yeah, one last question.
Uh-huh.
Like the link which I'm seeing right now on your screen,
Uh-huh.
will be able to access these videos or it's we won't.
It's the YouTube channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one you can see. This is the YouTube channel's link. You can see these, but this is just a intro. Okay, so just day two, one and two's recording. Even today's recording will be uploaded in few minutes. Okay, so
Got it.
yeah, but once you enroll to the batch, you can see it in your dashboard. Okay, so if you click
Got
on this buy now, you can pay via your credit card, debit, any method. EMI is also there. Okay, so you can enroll, and then all the recordings will be available once it is like let's say my session, tomorrow session or even day after tomorrow session. It will be uploaded here in this logiclabs.com along with the notes. Every day notes will be uploaded. Okay, so
it.
yeah.
So will we, if we want to look for other videos, do we need to pay for that? Like Azure, I saw other
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. So those are all different courses, right? So yeah, this is a YouTube one. So
Yeah,
don't
I got it.
confuse with this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
got
obviously
it.
you need
Yes.
to pay for the, yeah, you see all the catalog here, right? All the
Yeah.
courses listed here. So you can enroll for any of these. And my previous recording is also there. Let's say you are having hard time with the timings, right? So timing is from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you can't make up the time, so you can just click on buy now. This is a like previous recording will be here. So just click on buy now. The recordings will be shared right away. Notes, everything will be there. So
Got it.
you can even do that if you are having hard time showing up at the 8 p.m. time. So, yeah.
Because I was unable to open that link. It says page not found. So
Which link, Sanjay?
the second the Logic Lab Tech link. If I want to buy,
Oh, okay.
it
Let me
says page not found for me. When I copy the link and open it.
just try to click that hyperlink. Let me share it once again. It's the same link when I copy it. Or you can even go to this courses and you will see this Linux admin, the very first one. You can see
Mm, okay,
either of way you can enter. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's still the
yeah.
same.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's it clear. You can reach out to the support team if you're having hard time or try in a different
I can log
device.
in only logiclabs.com,
It
not
is tech, logiclabstech.com. This one.
tech.com. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can come over there, but after that I don't see any. After that it's 404.
Oh, I okay. That's that should not be the case. But can you share your screen? Let's see quickly. Let me make you as a panelist. You are logged in from your mobile or your laptop? Yeah, Naresh. Let me have a look.
Can you see my screen?
One sec.
Yeah, after you go to that logiclabtech.com, you can click
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
code.
Uh-huh.
You can able to see the
I'm
store.
able to open. Before it was.
Now you can able to see the store and all.
Yeah, now I can see the course. Like this is the one, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No, Karthik, these are all it is like
Yeah.
a uh, um, pre-trained recorded sessions, right?
Yeah, so actually, no, we will be having a regular session, but if you
Oh,
want,
okay.
you can enroll the self-paced recording is also there. So if
So
Mm-hmm.
you
this should
can't,
be a whole course.
yeah, it's the same course only, but just the previous batch it is. The recordings is already there. If you want, you can enroll right away. The notes, everything will be shared. Okay.
Like notes means like what are the day-to-day sessions you are telling about the training? Those
Uh-huh.
notes we need to record it or already you
No, no, no.
recorded
It will be
about.
shared. I will be shared. Yeah, yeah. I will share it. Don't worry. And just a sample.
Oh,
Let me give. Let's see this one, right? So this is the notes like this. Whatever commands we execute, everything
okay.
along with my PT log. So this is the history, right? So that
Okay.
commands everything, almost like 1,100 lines or something. So everything I'll share, so you can go through that. Okay,
Got
so
it.
this is just a sample. So that every day session it will be shared. And for few sessions, early sessions, the commands also I'll just give. Every day, what are all the commands discussed? I'll just type it and give it, and you can go through this. That is like a summary for you. Right? So yeah.
Okay.
One last question, Karthik, from my side.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't see Ansible training. Do you guys give Ansible? I don't see any Ansible course.
Ansible we used to give, but not anymore. Actually, there is no trainer for that. But yeah, it used to be there. No, as of now, no. But
Mhm.
in future, they might start a new one. And you, if you are joined the WhatsApp group, right? So you will get notified in that article. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
Because currently the Ansible thing is the main which is happening everywhere. So
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Ansible is very, very important. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll
okay.
keep you posted if they start.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's already time then. So again, sorry for extending the session. And let's see tomorrow at 8 p.m., guys. So please join in. Okay, so yeah, thanks all then.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye bye. Yeah, bye bye.